We say good day to the grade 9 class, and we are continuing with the exercise of yesterday. We will be looking at question number 8, and question number 8 states it is the following. Show by using prime factors how you would find the following. Alright, and then they give us number 8.1 up until number 8.4. So we're quickly going to do that. And I need you have written down the numbers, so I'm going to go away from the screen. This is the way that I would want it in your book. Alright, so if you are going to start with question number 9 and question number 10 today, what you should do is you should write, we are still busy with numbers, okay, numbers, and today's date is the 12th of February, 2 days to go to buy me that chocolates, that chocolates and all of those lovely gifts. So that is that. Let's just always make our work neat, and then we underline our work. That's how we make it neat, because that guy is the king, because he rules our books. Alright, so now we start with question number. I asked you to write down the question. So I'm just going to write down the answers. So it's 8.1 from question number 9. However, it's not necessary for you guys to write down the questions, because I did print it out. So therefore, you can just use the printout and write the answers. All right. But however, you will see by question number 10, I think it starts with calculation. So I will expect you to write down at least calculations as a heading. So when I go through your textbook, I know what kind of work you are answering here. Alright, so question number 8.1. What is the number? Raise your hand and please help me out. It's a square root, okay, and of 11,025. So the first step here, and let's see if we can use some colors. The first step that I would do here is to prime factorize. Prime factorize this number. Okay, prime factorize the number under the square root. So we're quickly going to do that. I know you got the answer, but let's do it for the rest of the class as well, so that they see how we get to the answer. So prime factorize, I start by the letter method, and I told you can use other methods. However, I prefer this because it's nice and neat for me. Alright, so we're going to start with 11,205, and it says prime factorize. So that means I need to do what? I need to divide this by all the prime factors, and I'm going to start by 2, 3 and divide accordingly. So what is the first number? 2 can't go into that. How do I know that 2 can't go into this? Because it's an uneven number. Alright, can 3 go into it?
No. 3, yes.
3 can go into it. What if I divide by 3? So I say 3 can't go into 1, but 3 can go into 11. How many times? 3 times. So I write down the 3 there. 3 can go in, okay, so there's a 1 there. 3 can go into 10. 3 times. 3 times. Alright, so it's 3 times. And then 3, what is the remainder? 11, what? Oh, sorry, thank you. What was this number? 11,025. Like that? Alright, so 3 can go into 11 3 times, and then what is 3 times 11 is equal to 9. 11 minus 9 is equal to 2. So there should be, where should I put the 2 now? There. Alright, so that means 3 can go into 20. How many times? 6 times. Alright, so 3 times 6 times 3 is equal to 18. 18 minus 2 is 18 minus 20 minus 18 is equal to 2. I do apologize, sometimes that happens. I told you my brain is too fast for my mouth. Alright, so I say the answers while I'm still calculating with my mouth. So then the answers comes out. Like I would say 1 plus 2, and then the answer is actually 1 plus 1. So I do apologize for that. Please tell me if I do that. And then it's going to be 3 divided by 22, which equals to 7. And then what is the remainder? 1. And then 3 can go into 15 how many times? 5 times. Everyone is with me up until there? Alright, can 3 go into that number as well? Okay, so 3 can go into 36, how many times? So we can actually do it like this, so we can say 3 can go into 36, how many times? Yes, 12 times. 12 times and 75? 25. Is that number correct? Alright, can 3 go into that number? No. But 5 can. So we write down a 5. 5 can go into 12. How many times? 2 times. The remainder is 2. And then we have 5 can go into 24 times. And then 5 goes into 25 5 times. Everyone got that right? Okay. Next number is going to be 5. And then can 5 go into 240? How many times? 45 times. 20? 49 times. Alright, 49 times. And then prime number that can go into this would probably be 7. And then 7 and 7. And then there we end off with a 1. Alright, so my prime factorization of this will be, let's just move that to there. Alright, prime factorization of this will therefore be, my answer is going to be, now I write down my answer here, so this is just my calculations, so I'm just going to write down my answers, which is going to be 3 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power of 2 times 7 to the power of 2. Now remember when we did this, we did something similar. Alright, so I said that there's actually an invisible 2 right there, and because there's an invisible 2, I can divide my exponents by that 2. So what is going to happen? I'm basically going to have 3 times 5 times 7. Alright, and now I simplify this. So 3 times 5 is equal to, or 5 times 7 is equal to? Alright, so then we say 3 times 5 times 7 is equal to 105. Now we're going to do number 8.2. Alright, so my steps here is number 1 was my step to prime factorize, 2 write as prime factors, okay, and then I take it out of the surd, so that means simplify the surd. And then my last is always to simplify as far as possible. Okay, so that's simplification as far as possible. Let's look at number 8.2. 8.2, give me the number quickly. 1,323 divide by 3. Alright, prime factorized of 1,323. What can anyone give me that quickly? 3 to the power of 3 times 7 to the power of 2 divided by 3. Alright, now I don't know if you remember this, but this is laws of exponents. There's a 1 there. Once I'm doing division, what can I do? Did the bell ring? Alright, I can cancel that out. So 3 to the power of 3, listen to this. 3 to the power of 3 actually stands for 3 times 3 times 3 times 7 times 7 over 3 to the power of 1. Alright, now the same as we did the previous day, that 3 and that 3 cancels out. So I'm basically left with 3 3 to the power of 2 times with 7 to the power of 2. And what did I say? Once we're doing a square root, I can, if I have to the power of 2, I just divide my exponent to 2 and then I get 3 to the power of 1 times with 7. So 3 times 7 is equal to 21. Everyone with me on that? Yes. Do you understand what I did there? Alright, let's look at number. You want to write this down quickly? While you are looking at that, I'm going to write down question number 8.3. Give me that number, please. Anyone? Square root. What is it? Cube root. Cube root. Alright, so this is a cube root. 1728. Alright, first step will be to prime factorize. So I'm going to write this like this. I'm going to keep it under the cube root for now, and then I'm going to prime factorize. So once I prime factorize 1728, you guys can do the leather method or the other method, the factor 3. However, I'm just going to check on my calculator and show you guys, make you aware of the short-term method, which is going to be, I'm going to type that number 1728. I type it on my calculator, I put in equal sign, I type in shift, and then factorize. You have a calculator like this, so you can do it on that way. Alright, so that means is going to be 1700 is 2 to the power of 6 times 3 to the power of 3. So then I write 2 to the power of 6 times with 3 to the power of 3. And what can I do now? Remember when we said that if there's a 2, if there's a square root, there's actually an invisible 2 outside. But now there's a 3. So because there's a 3, what do you think I'm going to do with my exponents? I'm going to divide them by 3. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say the long step. So this step is called my prime factorization. Prime factorization, that is step number 1. And number 2 is to simply prime factorization. And then step number 2 is to simplify my surd. So I have a cube root. So that means I'm going to say 2 to the power of 6 divided by 3 times with 3 to the power of 3 divided by 3. So now I'm going to say that means 2 to the power of 6. 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2 to the power of 2 times with 3 to the power of 1. I don't have to write that 1 down. So I'm saying 2 times 2 to the power of 2 is equal to 4. And then 4 times 3 is equal to 12. Everyone with me on that? Yes. Okay. 8.4. 8.4, anyone?
It's 3,375.
Square root, cube root, what is that? Cube root. Alright, so it's cube root and then 3,375. Alright, so you can do the long method, you can do the ladder, the factor 3, whatever. First step is, however, to prime factorize. You will see there's a lot of value in prime numbers. So even in grade 10, prime factorizing can be very beneficial to you guys. So get into the method of prime factorizing numbers. Alright, so prime factorized, what is the answer going to be? 3 to the power of 3 times 5 to the power of 3. And I can simply see this answer here. So it's going to be 3 to 3 times 5. 5 is equal to 15. Alright, now another method is if you want to check your answer, if you're not sure, this should be to the power of 3. So that means 15 to the power of 3 is supposed to get me to the same answer. Alright, so we can either do it on this 15 times with 15 times with 15, and then I'm supposed to be back in where I started. Are you with me with that?
Yes, sir.
So that's also another method of checking. Or if you have a calculator that's simple like this, you can simply just say your final answer 15 to the power of 3 like that. And then you get your answer. Let's check for this one. So 12 to the power of 3. Here's my answer 12. So I'm just going to write 12 to the power of 3. And then I have my answer right there, which is 1728. Okay, so now I want to continue to question number 9. Everyone has a page. I want you to follow with me. I did request you guys to do this for homework, and I see all of you did do it. I'm lying to myself right now. Okay, so I'm going to pretend everyone did do it. However, I want you to feel your own guilt, because if you didn't do it, I'm very disappointed in you. Alright, so let's start with question number 9. They asked me at question number 9. So the expectation was of you to write today's date or yesterday's date. Before, if there's not time, I want you to start with the calculations of number 10, 11 and 12. Alright, if we finish this period, you have it, so you can do it. And then that will be our homework for today, which is the 12th of February. So that will be until number 12.6. Alright, question number 9 states, determine the values of the following without the use of a calculator. Alright, so what we are going to have to do is going to say, let's look at question number 9.1. Let me just see what's happening here. Alright, so I'm going to, I want to go to a new page and start writing neatly. Alright, so question number 9.1. 9.1. Alright, let's keep on writing in blue. And the number is 625. And I should calculate this without the use of the calculator. So first step will be to prime factorize. So I'm going to say this prime factorize quickly. Let's do it together. We're not going to do everyone together. So that's what can go. 2 can't go into there. Can 3 go in there? What is 625 divided by 3? Can 5 go? Can 3 go in it? Are you sure? What is the answer if 3 goes into it? Okay, so let's go with, so our first prime factor that can go into this is 5. So we write down there 5, we say 5 goes into 6 once, and then there's 1 remainder, and then 5 goes into 12 2 times, and then 5 goes into 25 5 times. Okay, and then we have 5, that is 25, and 5 again, that will be 5, and then 5 again, and then I have 1. Oh, what's that? That's not the 1. Alright. Alright, so that's my 1 there. Stay with me. Stay with me. Let's just finish this one quickly. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to write that as a product of its prime factors. So now prime factorization, I'm going to write 5. You can write 5 times 5 times 5, 4 times, or you can go straight to this. Okay, 5 to the power of 4, and then when you have 5 to the power of 4, you should remember there's an invisible 2 out there, and then the next step will be to be 5 divided by that 2, so that's 5 to the power of 2, which equals to 5 times 5 is equal to 25. And now although they said without the use of a calculator, we're just going to check if it is well like that. So if I type in my calculator 25 to the power of 2, I'm supposed to get 625. Alright, so you know what the homework is? I'm just going to write it down so that everyone write this in your book before you go. So homework for today is going to be, you're going to finish up number 9, 9.2 up until number 9.6. Please note that when they give you a decimal, try to convert the decimal to a fraction, a common fraction. And then at question number 10, so then you also need to do question number 10 and 10.1, 10.2, number 11, and question number 12. Alright, so that's all the homework. It's not a lot. See if you can do it as fast as possible. I thank you, grade 9.